that thus whenever there is a dealing of preeti or love in intimate dealings, these 6 activities are executed, or wherever they executed, the preeti will develop. Prabhupada also gave one example in one lecture, as I explained. Just like arranged marriage previously, they may not have they may be seeing first time in life, but as they continue their life, where they exchange these 6 loving exchanges, six activities in their life, slowly that love, the preeti develops between each other. That's how Prabhupada explains the aspect of uh, developing love between Supreme Lord and the devotee also. And Prabhupada mainly gives caution that we should not do these 6 things with especially Mayavadis. Of course, here he mentions that how this international society has established to facilitate the 6 kinds of loving exchanges between devotees. There's a purpose to bring all the members together with each other and nearer to Krishna. That was the third purpose of 7 purposes. And the institute is mainly for that. To bring together means to facilitate the 6 exchanges. So that is one point Prabhupada is making here, that the whole institute is just made to facilitate all these 6 exchanges, and we need to exercise them. And it takes time. Any relationship takes time. A good relationship. It also has so many tests in any relationship. There will be so many tests as well in relationship. Either family relationships or ashram relationships or any social relationships. There will be many tests, and we need to continue ahead in that relationship, especially in bhakti relationships with devotees. We need to continue, we need to practice them, and we need to continue in spite of many tests. So that relationships only gives us a lot of nourishment as we grow in bhakti. Initially, we may be doing on our own bhakti, our own sadhana, 16 rounds and doing and other things. Definitely that's good. But as we grow, we need at least 4 or 5 hours when trying to share with each other different things that we are doing, how we are going ahead in spiritual life. So we need association. Everyone needs association. So for that, we need to invest in relationships. That investment happens by these 6 exchanges. So that's the main point of Prabhupada here, that we are created, he created the society for that purpose. And that's why he's also making the very profound statement here that the life of Krishna conscious society is nourished by the 6 type of loving exchanges among the members. So the life, as we discussed, is life of society. If they are not there, then society is almost like dead. It's like body has life. When body has life, we can do many activities. If life is not there, then it's dead body. So that's the very profound statement here by Prabhupada, that we practice this and we sustain our lives, and also we take ahead the mission or movement in whatever capacity that we have to contribute to. It's not that we need to become a great sannyasis and need to preach and initiate for thousands of people and all. No, whatever we are able to, whatever we can contribute, so that's enough. But we sincerely endeavor to do whatever we can. So these are the main aspects of this point Prabhupada is making here. So everyone should be given chance to hear about Krishna. That's the main society's principle also. So that's how Prabhupada mentioning that the 6 exchanges when we try to do with inside members and also with outsiders. Prabhupada's one more theme was how we do exchanges, these 6 exchanges with outsiders as a society. Inside members we do to nourish ourselves, to reinforce the relationships, and also to bring new people to Bhakti. These six also will definitely help, giving them prasad. Of course, we may not accept prasad from them in the sense that we don't know what to whom they offer. So generally, we try to offer them prasad, offer them gifts like books and all. We invite them to temple festivals, etc. So that's how we start building relation and try to give them opportunity also to go ahead in spiritual life. So the process is given. What happens mainly by starting the, especially the gift of holy name. Prabhupada mentions here about when we are giving gift of holy name to other people, what happens? He also gives the process. Kesotarpana marjanam, how it cleanses the heart, how it gradually cleanses the heart, and they also can come very near to Krishna, and also they can advance in spiritual life. And he quotes Prabhupada, this Haridas Thakur's example and Charikant Chaitanya Mahaprabhu example, how they are very much elevated in terms of chanting Hare Krishna mantra, such that even animals, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu could transform them and make them to chant Hare Krishna. So Prabhupada humbly says that we may not be able to do that or follow in the footsteps of them, but at least we can do on our level whatever we can. So we are not powerful enough to chant and powerful enough to chant to enchant the lower animals, but we can chant at least to convert many people throughout the world, at least to ourselves. We may not be able to, like Prabhupada and like many acharyas, we may not be able to do many people outside also. At least to ourselves, we can experience the beauty and the glory and the power of the holy name by chanting the holy names. That's why he is giving the process, explaining the process also, giving the gift of the holy name to others. In that aspect, he covered this one, the power of the holy name. At a social level, also, how these six things can be exchanged. He mentioned here. We invite them, we give them prasad, we share whatever we have. That he explains, and then what should be done, what should not be done. Whom should we not express or cultivate these six exchanges, especially with those who are averse to bhakti or who are averse, who are very much into karma and jnana, yoga, enjoying mentality or renouncing mentality, or those who are so-called materially perfectionists, scientists, and many others. And if we have the capacity, definitely we can give them and not be influenced by them. In the world, but not of the world. That's the one main principle that we try to follow. Just like Padma Patram Imam Bhasaha. We stay in the world, but not touched by the world. In the world, we are there, and we are not touched, but at the same time, we give them others also the facility to become like Padma Patram Imam Bhasaha. That's Prabhupada's main point. Also, he did like that practically. And he gave reasons why we should disturb others. People may say, live and let live. No, because human life is a very valuable. Prabhupada's main point that we need to perfect our life and we give them also the chance to perfect their lives. So that's how he mentions the aspects of the six loving exchanges in terms of sharing Krishna consciousness. When we talk about especially sharing Krishna consciousness, mainly chanting holy names. And of course books. Everything consolidates to chanting holy names. Prabhupada one time mentions to one of his disciples, all my books, all my lectures, all my conversations, the main point is to bring everyone to chant Hare Krishna. Whatever we may do, finally we make them chant Hare Krishna, make them chant. Means that at least try to make them remember that there is existence of God, that there is a personality whom we are actually connected to, whom we are longing for, whom we are always very, very of big because we are away from him for so long. We are tired because of lack of his association. So that's why we also try to give them an opportunity to understand and different levels, whoever may be, at whatever level they may be, we try to bring them close, little close, to explain that there is God, there is a person whom we are connected to, who supplying everything to us, and who is staying with us in our hearts, and by whose mercy we are all trying to maintain our lives practically 24 hours. So because of him we are living, so we need to express our gratitude. So at whatever level they are, we try to connect them, bring them close to Krishna. And thereby also we also gain mercy from the Lord's mission because we are assisting in the Lord's mission. Just like even in companies also, when you increase their sales, they have so many incentives to the salespersons. So even Krishna explains that those who give my message to others, they are very dear to me. So that's also a beautiful aspect to share with others, whatever we can. That's the main point also Prabhupada mentioning here, and Bhaktivedanta Maharaj especially focused on. We should not associate it, especially those who are averse to bhakti, those who are attached to materialism and sense gratification. It is just like compared to feeding the snake with milk and bananas. Only poison, only poison will increase. So we don't try to exchange all the six loving activities with especially those who are averse to, or those who are envious of Krishna, envious of God, atheists, all those people, those who are not favorable especially, or those who are disturbing our Krishna consciousness. That also. They may be doing some kind of bhakti or they may have some kind of faith in some personality. But if they are disturbing too much, we try to keep distance away. We try to keep a distance. That's the main point of this verse. 4, 6 loving exchanges. So in this verse, there is a brief mention of our process of making loving transactions with the Supreme Personality of Godhead and making friends with the devotees. And this is the main. Yeah, Prabhupada, one more point here that not only uh, we try to practice the 6 activities, loving exchanges with devotees and with society and also with Supreme Lord. That is also Prabhupada mentioning here that offering gifts to Lord, offering bhoga to the Lord, and sharing our heart to the Lord. This is also relationship, and this is also our trying to build the relationship that we have with our Supreme Lord. And these 6 can be practiced. That's what Prabhupada main point. So in these 3 sections, Prabhupada explained this verse that with the Lord also, and mainly with devotees, and not at all with those who are averse or those who are unfavorable for our bhakti. The 6 loving existence has to be exercised. Sometimes we need to take our time to, because we don't see any direct results immediately in investing in any relationship. We don't see anything tangible. If I talk to a devotee, if I call him, or if I invite him to my home, I don't see any tangible outcome. But we need to understand these things are essential for our spiritual life. They may not be seeing immediate results, just like a watering a mango tree. If someone says, "Oh, why should I water mango tree from September to April?" or it doesn't give anything. No, no. Only when by watering from July to again March, February, March, then only the fruits will come. And the end of the year. So similarly, these relationships, we may not see immediate results as well. And of course, we are not directly expecting some kind of results in that, but we are happy in developing a good relation with other devotees and trying to share with them, trying to be with one another. That pleases Krishna more and more. Being together, Krishna likes that, and even in fact, spiritual world is like that. So being together and trying to discuss together, sharing with together Krishna consciousness, and also in happy times and in difficult times. There may not be tangible results that we may see in the relationship, but that should not be a main factor that which stops our investment. That's the main. That is also we need to consider. So the next verse, Prabhupada is only giving what is spoken in the next verse is that what kind of Vaishnava should be selected as a friend and how Vaishnava should be served. So that fifth verse explains that we need to choose particular Vaishnavas to build the relationship. At the same time, we offer respect to everyone. There's a very subtle principle that definitely we are offering respects to not only the devotees, everyone. We offer respects. In fact, Krishna explains in Uddhava Gita that one even offer respects to all the animals and all the living beings because Paramatma is there in them. By seeing that, we offer respects accordingly. Then only we can actually, that is the main symptom that we can understand that we are progressing in spiritual life. And we try to respect everyone and everything according to their position. So, of course, the respect is there, but how to make friendship is also is spoken in this verse. How to build a relationship, whom to associate more and more. कृष्णेति यस्य गिरितं मनसा ध्रियेत दीक्षास्ति चेत् प्रणतभिश्च भजन्तमीशम् शुश्रूषया भजन विघ्नमनन्यमन्या दारिशून्यमृतमीप्सितसङ्कलप्त्या. So Krishneti Yasya. So three levels we Prabhupada spoke. We have seen that one. We honor the Kanishta Madhyam and Uttam especially. We honor those who are just trying to chant the holy names in the mind. We honor them. And those who are initiated, especially second initiation, who have taken Diksha and started deity worship, we Pranatabish, we offer with the body, we offer our respectful obeisances, including the mind. The first steps includes in the second as well. And then those who are very advanced, how we understand very advanced, Nindadishonyam, they don't have any kind of propensity to criticize or blaspheme or derogate or pull down tendencies. So in them, and those who have Ananya Bhakti, Ananya Manya. So these two aspects, and we see them in those, with those, we try to serve them, we try to associate them, talk to them, and start doing a loving exchanges with them more and more. So the degree is more here in the third personality, and it may reduce down to here. The six loving exchanges may gradually reduce here in third Kanishta stage, but they are increasing gradually till this point of Shushushaya Bhajana Vignam. When we see those personalities, we try to exchange with them the six loving exchanges. More and more try to serve them, please them. So that's the main point of the verse. That we try to select also, and we try to elevate ourselves in both ways. Prabhupada also mentions that point. And we also need to elevate ourselves from Kanishta to Madhyam at least. That's one of the main point Prabhupada emphasizes. Yeah, Prabhupada mainly mentions Madhyamadhikari, Kanishthadhikari, Uttamadhikari, reviews the definitions, what are their qualities, and from the various scriptures we have seen, Chaitanya Charitamrita, Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, these three books gives a different kinds of qualities or qualifications of the three levels of people that Prabhupada mentions here in these verses. Uh, Different levels he mentions. Here he is quoting Srimad Bhagavatam, who is the Kanishta. Kanishta here especially is the one who is just sticking to deity worship, and he may not be able to respect other devotees. He may not be able to identify the relationship between the devotees and the Lord. So that's considered the Kanishta, according to one categorization. So one has to raise himself from position of Kanishta to Madhyama by practicing these principles of Madhyamadikari. How to raise from Kanishta to Madhyama? By practicing these four things. Try to allow us to regard prema to Ishvara, Maitri, the issue, the devotees, Kripa, to those who are
If your voice is not coming properly, Hare Krishna, your voice is breaking a lot.
Okay.
Yes, bro.
Hare
Yes,
Krishna,
it's breaking.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. From how long?
No, it's just
Just
hardly
now or
maybe 10 seconds, 10, 15 seconds last. So when you were explaining this word 11 to 46, you may just go back to that point. This is the same which is visible now.
this one.
The Madhyama
This
Adhikari
one?
is
Hare
described in
Krishna.
Srimad Bhagavatam.
Okay, okay. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. How is now?
Yeah, it is better.
Now it's better?
Yes, yeah.
Okay. So yeah, this Madhyama, we also try to elevate ourselves by practicing this, and by practicing the ninefold process of bhakti, we gradually grow, and also we practice specifically also these four aspects. Thereby we come to this stage by prema to Ishvara, by maitri to those who are surrendered to the Dhaneshu, Krupa to the Balisheshu, the innocent, and Upeksha to Dvishatsu, those who are envious of the devotees and envious of the Lord. So by practicing these four, we also try to elevate to the position of Madhyama, gradually become that level. So this is the way to cultivate devotional service properly. Therefore, in this verse, Lord has advised us how to treat various devotees. Then Prabhupada mentions mainly about Prakta Sahajiyas and those who are trying to practice bhakti. And they are given example as a neophyte devotees because they are practicing, they are chanting Hare Krishna, but unfortunately they are attached to some things which are not favorable for bhakti. So that's why we try to keep a distance. But they should be respected internally, admire internally, avoid externally. That's the one category of example Prabhupada gave for neophyte devotees. And but as we grow in spiritual life, if they are able to understand the seriousness of bhakti, and if they take initiation from the spiritual master, and they should be respected properly, and we can take association. And Prabhupada mainly gave a progression in Krishna consciousness, how one gradually progresses from Kanishta to Madhyam to Uttam. So he gave on the practical levels how is an institute in the Krishna consciousness institute, how it happens. So everyone is invited, everyone is given prasad, and if they are able to pick up the process, then they are initiated after a certain period of time by observing how they are in bhakti, how they are able to understand the principles of bhakti, how they are able to practice the principles. So by seeing that, they will give me initiation, and gradually by practicing that, one will definitely be come to the stage, at least to Madhyam. And definitely, if one is very serious and sincere, he will come to Uttama stage. And that Uttama stage is mentioned here. The quality is also mentioned here. Those who are always thinking of how to expand the Krishna conscious movement and strictly following all the principles. Such a Vaishnava should be accepted as Uttamadhikari, and his association should be always sought. So these are all mentioned here, and Prabhupada also next continues to purport with on a practical level what happens, how to one elevates from Kanishta to Madhyam by Diksha, and he gives a very technical understanding what Diksha mean, what happens in Diksha, and practical examples how in this movement happened by giving Diksha to many those who are not even qualified, but when they are given Diksha by seeing their qualification of practicing some principles, they advanced more and more. So the Diksha is a formal ceremony which connects one living entity to the Parampara system. So one may ask if one is unable to take initiation formally, or one happen to not take initiation, but one is accepting a spiritual master in the heart. That is also considered, but very rare cases. These are some exceptions. With standard rule, and there are exceptions. Exceptions are always there. But generally, it's when we are formally initiated, it's considered that like it's a bona fide connection is made. But in the heart, if one is seriously accepting and trying to follow the principles, particular spiritual master, then he's also considered initiated. Our main advancement is made by that, not just by ceremony of 1 hour, by putting some grains in the fire and giving it some name or taking some thread. It doesn't make advancement. We cannot make advancement by just by that. We make advancement by following the principles, by the living by the teachings that he spoke or that is speaking, that he himself living by, following his superiors, by following his spiritual master. That is the actual way of to raise ourselves from Kanishta to further levels. So that is the main point here. That that Diksha is the formal ceremony. By that one gradually elevates from lower stages to higher stages. And who is fit, who is not fit are explained here in the. He's quoting so many quotations from different sources. How one should actually take initiation. A human being, human life itself is to inquire, and that inquiry will have authenticity or validity when we go to a proper authority. Just like when we want to study also in schools and colleges, we go to particular schools and colleges which are authorized, or even doctors who are authorized, we go to. Similarly, this spiritual knowledge also. That's what Prabhupada is making a point here, that only by authorized connection we can raise from connect the lower stages to higher stages in spiritual life. Last point also, the making the same point, that not just by external diksha, but by following the principles and the rules and regulations that are given by spiritual master. And the most important and the most essential aspect that spiritual master speaks is to chant Hare Krishna without offenses, avoiding 10 offenses. That is the central aspect of our bhakti, and also it's the Sreshta Taramadhe Sarvasreshta Nama Sankirtan. Out of all the 9 process of devotion service, chanting Hare Krishna without offenses is given a top priority. That's why Prabhupada in the whole book we have read at least 3-4 times how Prabhupada emphasized on chanting Hare Krishna very, very seriously and without offenses. So thereby we grow gradually in bhakti. So how that happens, gradual growth. Then Prabhupada explained about all the how one grows gradually in the process of faith to prema, from Shraddha to prema. How one gradually goes ahead in that process. That is also explained by Prabhupada in short. But then Prabhupada also categorized based on based on chanting. Now that is nice. You see a Vaishnava who is chanting Hare Krishna. Is Krishna. What is constantly studying is Madhyam. And one more, by seeing whom, which chant or others chant the holy names, that, that person is considered Uttam. By seeing whom, just like Haridas Thakur or Prabhupada or many Acharyas, Rupa Goswami Pad, and all those personalities, just by seeing them, people chant Hare Krishna. People develop faith and come to the level of chanting Hare Krishna. So, Prabhupada classifying here based on chanting Hare Krishna, and he gave examples, practical examples of how we offer our respects to those who are chanting Hare Krishna. He gave example of George Harrison. So anyone who is trying to advance in Krishna consciousness by regularly chanting holy name should always be respected by Vaishnavas. That is one point. That is one of the main points Prabhupada brings out here. And then we're continuing the same based on faith. How one becomes more and more developed in one more categorization here mentioned, that based on knowledge and faith. One who has a very strong faith and strong knowledge. And strong knowledge in the sense he is very knowledgeable. Both. He is considered Uttam. And one who has a strong faith but weak knowledge or weak in Shastras, he is considered like a Madhyamadikari. If someone comes and argues him, he may not be able to defeat or counter argue, but his faith will not be shaken in Bhakti or in aspects of Bhakti. That is called Madhyam. But a Kanishta is a personality who has a very less knowledge and less faith as well. So if someone is saying many other things, then he may be diverted or distracted from Bhakti also. So on that aspect, the categorization is given in these verses. So one is based on the qualities as we discussed in Srimad Bhagavatam. One is based on the chanting the holy names, and one is based on faith and knowledge. So these three aspects are covered to categorize Kanishta, Madhyam, and Uttam. And also many aspects are covered how one can raise from different levels. How we can raise from Kanishta to Uttama by Diksha, by chanting holy names. These are all also mentioned in the purport. Prabhupada is continuing the same aspects of faith. The practice and relation one becomes Uttamadhikari. So summary of the verse we will see that in this verse Rupa Goswami advises the devotee be intelligent enough to distinguish between Kanishta, Madhyam and Uttam. One should also know his position. He should try to not imitate on those who are on higher platforms. That's one point. Bhaktivinoda Thakur mentioned Prabhupada's point is that how one can recognize Uttamadhikari. One point mentioned that how he is able to influence or inspire, impact others by the process of bhakti and elevate them to higher levels. Right? One who has a higher level, he can bring others also to the higher level. That is one aspect to understand who is a Uttamadhikari. That's the main point that Prabhupada is bringing out from Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Okay, so these are the aspects that we need to be respectful to the Vaishnavas. At the same time, we try to non-judgmentally discriminate so that we are taking association of the advanced devotees, so that we are also advancing. We also try to advance in bhakti. That's the fifth verse. And sixth verse, what should not be done in the association of the devotees or with the devotees, especially. So though one may be seeing externally some faults, here example is given. Rashtai Swabhava Janitaiva Pusasya Doshai Na Prakrutatvameha Bhakta Janasya Pashchet Angham Basam Na Khalubut Bhutapena Pankai Brahmadravattvamapagati Niradharmai. What should not be done? We should not see the externals, but we see the essence. Essence means what their activities are. Externally, they may be appearing either because of their bodies or external symptoms. They may not be appearing like Vaishnavas or devotees. Sometimes devotees also they may be because they go to job and they have to work, they have to wear many other clothes. Doesn't mean that they are not devotees. Perfectly, especially in Western countries, we may not be able to recognize whether he is a devotee or whether he is practicing by seeing the externals. So by that one should not make any judgments or one should not criticize, one should not find faults with us. So just like an example is given, Ganga Amrasam, just like the Ganga externally may have some Buddha, some foam or some mud, Buddha, some mud, some foam, fena, some pankar, any kind of bubbles, foam and mud. So all these things which may be giving us a kind of appearances which is some kind of a bad water or contaminated water, but one should see the substance of Ganga. Ganga is Brahmadravatvam. It is transcendental nature. So by even for the devotees also we see their activities. That's the main point Prabhupada emphasizes that we see their activities and thereby we save ourselves from falling down in bhakti or destroying our bhakti. So the more we try to find faults, we go down in our own bhakti. Nothing will happen to others. Only things happen to ourselves. So we try to not judge others by externals, but by seeing the positive things, we appreciate them. We try to take inspiration from them, though they may have some external difficulties. Still, they are trying to practice, they are trying to inspire. And we have seen many examples of even acharyas in our movement who have some external faults, apparently, but who are pretty much inspiring to thousands, millions. That's the main point of the verse. And Prabhupada makes the point out who should not be discriminated, who should not be found fault. Here Krishna is not finding fault. But those who are determined to practice, and Krishna himself is saying, I will lift them, I will help them. When 9th chapter also explains, Kshipram, he bhavati dharmatma, he will immediately become very righteous by practicing determined bhakti. Like that, by seeing their determination, by seeing their activities, by seeing the Avyabhicharini bhakti, so we need to respect them. And the more details are given what is Avyabhicharini bhakti and how they practice and how they should not be seen from a materialistic point of view. And these are all some aspects. And we need to change our seeing aspects. And Prabhupada bringing out that we see according to our own conditionings. Though they are on a higher level, just like wearing spectacles of particular color, we see everything as, or a jaundiced person sees everything as yellow. Unless we, as Prabhupada mentioning, unless one is actually a devotee, he cannot see another devotee perfectly. So that's why we also raise ourselves from Kanishta to Uttam. Uttam devotee is the one who sees everyone as a devotee. That's the amazing aspect. He sees everyone as a devotee. No one is a non-devotee. That's his consciousness. By that, he is not criticizing others, he is not finding faults with others. And Krishna encourages, as mentioned, Krishna himself is saying that those who are samyak vyavasito hi saha, one who is determined, one is fixed up, and apparently one may have some difficulty, some shortbacks, some slips may be there, but one should be determined to continue, and that devotee should be accepted as a bona fide devotee. So, what are the external features one may try to find based on, especially Prabhupada focused on birth? So, the Goswamis, he is giving example of Goswamis and Prabhupada. We all read all the purport, but yeah, especially the Goswamis name by Goswami, one should not be become puffed up also. At the same time, we should not find fault with them. That is the main point. Just by birth, based on birth, we cannot find fault. Oh, he's born in a Mleta family, he's born in a Shudra family. We cannot consider them as a devotee. So these were going on actually during Thakur time, even everywhere, all the times. All the times, this segregation or this discrimination was going on. But exalted acharyas are always up to the point to pinpoint this fault and to root out that tendencies, especially those who are practicing bhakti. They are always careful about Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Bhaktivedanta Thakur, especially Bhaktivedanta Thakur. He had even debates with the Brahmanas and Vaishnavas in the sense that who is better of them. And there was a conflict between the Brahmanas and Vaishnavas. One should not see the external features, especially birth and the external appearances, and thereby one may commit offenses by seeing that, and by not seeing them, and by seeing the substance, we can try to elevate ourselves. What happens by seeing them? We commit offenses, and the effect of offenses is spoken here. Atimata, how we destroy our bhakti. So one should therefore avoid observing a period externally, but should try to see the internal features, understand how he is engaged in transcendental service. That is the main point. And the same point of externally seeing what happens. Prabhupada more elaborated. At the last, he is mentioning that how to deal empowered Vaishnavas, Shuddha Vaishnavas, and how not to deal. We take association and we don't do offenses. These are the main points of the taking association and not committing offenses. And lastly, he mentioning how to understand an advanced Vaishnava. Same point in different terms. By their activities, how he is elevating others, how he is helping others, how he is engaged in a devotional service fully. So these are all some aspects of how we can uh, take a note to understand who is advanced devotee. Thereby, we take association and not judge them on external level. So then the next verses, especially coming to in the association, what is the main aspect? In the association of the devotees, by their association, what they are inspiring us to do is to chant the holy names. So the main aspect of the association is given. The seventh verse that we need to chant the holy names. Also to rise from Kanisha to Madhyam, Madhyam to Uttam. This is the only process. This is the crux of the or sadhana, chanting holy names. And the essence of chanting holy names is to remember the Lord. Definitely chanting holy names, we are trying to do it. But remembering the Lord is important, which is spoken in the 8th verse. That remembering spoken, the 8th verse. That is the essence of the 8th verse, that we need to remember the Lord. And it grows gradually from Nama, Rupa, Guna, Leela. It grows gradually, but it starts with Nama. We need to start hearing the holy names and slowly progress ahead. Thereby we also remember the Lord And that remembrance becomes concentrated thicker and thicker, as we have seen many stages also, and we will just see the in summary also. And it grows in different levels. Shravana Dasha, Varana Dasha, Smarana Dasha, Smarana Avastha. Then finally it comes to Sampatti Dasha. So that's how these stages will grow, but it starts with hearing the holy name. So we should not be, definitely it's a day in and day out activity of chanting the holy names. It takes little time. Also it takes little effort to practice the holy names and to perfect the holy names. Perfecting in the sense that it's trying to chant in proper mood, proper tension. It takes little time. But we should not lose our patience. Utsaha, Nishya, Dharya. We continue. That's was spoken in giving an analogy of the disease. We have discussed all these aspects that the disease person cannot taste the nectar or any kind of a sweet, not especially jaundice person cannot taste it, but as he gradually takes the medicine, he definitely uh, develop the relish, develop the taste in that. Okay, maybe we'll wait for a few seconds. The voice may be breaking because of signal issue, maybe there sometimes here. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So this is the 8th verse speaking about chanting holy names. Okay, I think yeah, I will close my video. It may improve a little bit. I did that. So the 8th verse is especially we should not be discouraged, seeing that oh, I am unable to develop this for the name. I am so many years it happened from long. It's almost 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 years I am chanting. I am unable to even avoid sleep. I am unable to even avoid distraction. What to speak of thinking of Krishna and thinking of different levels. Only. So that's the main point here. So we should not be discouraged and we should not give up the process of chanting Hare Krishna. That we should not do, but we should investing time in the chanting Hare Krishna and practicing Hare Krishna is essential. As I also mentioned that we need to at least once a year we take out some time, half a day, one day to focus on this aspect. Or frequently also we can take time to focus on this aspect of improving the chanting Hare Krishna. Otherwise it may not improve automatically. It will not improve automatically. Nothing goes automatic mode. So that we need to focus on improving our chanting Hare Krishna. Of course, Prabhupada focused on many aspects in this verse also. What is disease condition? What is normal condition? All these things are mentioned. We have seen all these things, especially normal condition means to remain and also to remember and to remain. Both. At least first we should remember that I am eternal servant of Krishna. And by practicing chanting Hare Krishna, we will remain on that stage of that I am always the servant of the Lord. So the disease condition is to forget Krishna and trying to take shelter of Maya, the Durashraya is considered here. It is very insurmountable, Durashraya. So to cure the disease, we need to follow doctor's prescription. And by following a doctor's prescription and trying to understand it, trying to apply it, then we can try to cure the disease from the root itself. Tadgata Moolahantri. From the root it can be uprooted. The roots are uprooted by following the doctor's prescriptions. Doctors means here analogy is given, doctors, disease analogy is given, that's why doctor's prescriptions means the authorities, acharyas, Srila Prabhupada, spiritual masters. So that we need to take the medicine, understand the value of the medicine, and try to apply the medicine. Thereby we can see the actual results in our life. That's the essence of this aspect of this verse, and also Prabhupada making point about that. But two levels Prabhupada mentioned in purport also. One is on our level, what we discussed now, at on our individual level, how to apply the medicine, or they take the medicine, apply the medicine, see the results. At the social level also Prabhupada mentioned this is the only medicine. At the social, all the social problems also. So Prabhupada applied to theological scenario and the social level scenario. Application applied that we need to take the medicine ourselves, and we need to propagate Yare Deko Tareko Ho Krishna Pradesh. So Krishna's main message is to remember him always. Chant his name always. Satanam Kirtayanto Mam. Mam Anusmaridhicha. Fight whatever you're trying to do in this world. But you try to remember me always. So, but definitely it's because we are staying in this material world for quite long, millions of lives. And we may be starting the practice of bhakti maybe within last few lifetimes, or maybe in this lifetime. That's why we feel quite reluctant, or maybe appear quite bitter medicine. But let us not be discouraged or disinterested in taking the medicine. So that's what we are trying to understand, the value of the medicine by regularly reading, by regularly hearing, the value of bhakti, value of the process, value of the human life. Thereby we will understand the value of the medicine also. So as we do that, we will try to increase more and more our sincerity and seriousness in practice of chanting holy names. Thereby we root out the foundation itself. So the avidya is the main cause for our suffering, which you will study in NOD in detail. But that foundation, sorry, but the foundation of that avidya is ahankar, false ego. Provides the foundation for ahankar. Ahankar is the main thing, which results from avidya. And because of avidya only, we do all kinds of sinful activities. Sorry. So that way you will study in NOD how all the sinful activities, all these things happen from avidya, and this is also root for the ahankar. And ahankar itself is the main thing which makes us go in wrong way. Is the real disease in the heart. The real disease in the heart. And if the mind is cleansed, however, if the consciousness is cleansed, person cannot be harmed by material disease. So in that way, he's explaining about chanting Hare Krishna, how it is both easy and beneficial. Easy in the sense that comparing to all yogas, jnana, karma, tapa, all these yogas in Kali Yuga especially, and there is no expense at all. We are not paying any monthly taxes to ISKCON to chant Hare Krishna 16 rounds. Right. And it's quite beneficial. It's we are seeing the beneficiary activity, beneficial results. That's why we are continuing chanting holy names. We have seen and we are experiencing something. That's why we are continuing, and that's why we are struggling ahead. Otherwise, we might have just left long time back. There is benefit, there is joy, there is happiness, there is a good understanding about life. That's why we are able to continue. But we need to little more put ahead to experience the further aspects, further stages of spiritual life also. That's why it's easy and beneficial. Prabhupada again making point about how we need to avoid offenses while chanting the holy names, so that we can make progress, tangible progress. The conclusion is that in order to get freed from material disease, one must take to chanting Hare Krishna mantra. That is the one main point Prabhupada always mentions. So by taking medicine respectfully and regularly, anudinam, adarat, adarat, anudinam, we will gain the root of the disease is gradually cured. And all the stages are explained. By that, what will happen? The root is destroyed, and swadvi, the taste gradually comes. Just like churning the milk, churning the butter, etc. Gradually we develop the taste. So Prabhupada explained all the stages of bhakti. We have seen Shraddha to Prema, how one gradually grows by practicing chanting Hare Krishna. So that is the once Krishna manifests in the heart, he is just like sun. It dissipates all the darkness of ignorance. Thereby, all the false ego, all the corollaries will be destroyed. So that is the effect of chanting Hare Krishna. And then Prabhupada, then Srila Rupa Goswami continues. Is giving kind of essence in the 8th verse. What is the essence of everything, whatever we are doing in all the process of bhakti? The essence is to remember Krishna and not forget Krishna. To remember God and not forgetting God in any point of life. Though it's quite difficult, it's very challenging. Being in this world, we are trying, and we are also trying to make ends meet for life to sustain in this world. We may not be exclusively dedicated and given up everything to remember God. Definitely, but how to do that? How to remember that? That is the essence of bhakti. That is the essence of bhakti. But how to do that is the real challenge, and it's also a practice. It also takes quite some amount of time to come to that stage. And to inspire us, there are many wonderful personalities in Srimad Bhagavatam. How they are also engaged in all kinds of activities in day-to-day life. At the same time, their hearts are with Krishna to remember him, remember his activities. So, but that is the main essence. Ante Narayana Sruti, to remember Krishna at the final time, we need to practice remembering Krishna throughout life, just like a student practices whole semester or a whole year to appear in the final exam. The final exam depends on the preparation. Preparation. If we can prepare nicely, and we will definitely will do in the final exam. But this example may be fall short when we practice whole life and we are unable to remember, or appearing to be unable to remember in some cases, like devotees left leaving their bodies in difficult times. But it is not like a failing in the final exam. If one is unable to remember Krishna at the final point, though he's practiced, in one of the famous verse in Varah Puran, Krishna himself says that because of any other situation, because of kapha or pitta or vata or because any other situation, if my devotee is unable to remember, I will remember him. That's the nature of the Lord, Bhakta Vatsal. Lord, that if we are practicing sincerely, if we are doing our process sincerely, just like here is spoken that Tannam Rupacharita Sukirtananam Smrutyo Kramena Rasnamanasi Niyojya. We are engaging our tongues and minds and hearts to remember Krishna. In the verse is emphasizing to stay in Vraja, but we have seen the definition of Vraja. What is Vraja means? Mathura means wherever wherever the pure devotees are staying, wherever the pure principles of bhakti are practiced, that is Braja. So there we are trying to practice and trying to come to the level of where we are trying to remember Krishna always. Definitely we will remember Krishna. Our devotees will help us to remember Krishna. Or even Krishna from inside inspires us to remember him. Yeah, this is the essence of all our bhakti process. That he is telling to kalam nayet akilam itrupadesha saram. We need to prepare, we need to practice, we need to spend our time in remembering Krishna. 24 hours. That's the whole essence of this verse. And Prabhupada is focused on manas, rasana manasi, as is spoken here. He focused mainly on how to cultivate, how to train this remembrance by giving the training to the mind and tongue both. Major part is spoke on mind, practice, training the mind, and also to engage the tongue. So these are the main points that Prabhupada is bringing out in this purport, training the mind. Yeah, he also quoted Yam Yam Vapi Smaran Bhavam, Tachatam Dekalevaram, because the mind is the root cause. Mana eva manushanam karanam bandhamokshayo. So because mind is a central figure of senses. So we need to train the mind just like a child is trained, child is taken care of by mother. Similarly, intelligence has to be strengthened. That's what we also seen. We need to strengthen our intelligence to take care of the mind. How to do that? Prabhupada explained in many ways. Chanting Hare Krishna, taking Krishna Prasad, associating with devotees. These are all various aspects Prabhupada mentions. But the point is that we need to remember Krishna. We need to be able to remember his pastimes. And of course, he also gave a further advancements in bhakti. What happens when actually practices bhakti, when he's going to higher levels, he will come to a stage where he will understand his own position. Thereby, he will able to serve Krishna and remember Krishna, remember and serve both at a higher levels also. In the sadhana bhakti also, he will able to practice these principles. And in the siddha stage, when he understands his position at that level also, he will able to engage himself in both ways. He will able to serve the Lord, remember the Lord, serve the Lord. So that is the one of the main aspects is spoken. The sadhana deham siddha deha, sadhana and siddha, sadhya, as the two terms that in the sadhana stage we practicing remembering all these aspects, and in the siddha stage we apply those things. And in the siddha purusha or siddha deha we apply these principles. And sadhana deha also we apply, but we may not have that kind of attachment to the Lord. You will study in this mainly in Nectar of Devotion that Vaidhi Bhakti and Raga Bhakti. We practice rules and regulations. The same principles are there, chanting Hare Krishna. Serve the Lord, feed the Lord, dress the Lord, bathe the Lord, and read and discuss, glorify the Lord, dance for the Lord. At the practice stage also we do, and in the perfect stage also we do same thing. But with a different consciousness, different in the sense with more loving consciousness, with more pleasing attitudes. So that is at a higher perfection level. Bhakti Saraswati's quotations are given that one should give up material inclinations, material sense gratification, and one should engage in practicing, remembering Krishna's Nama, Rupa, Guna, Leela. So these 5 stages we discussed, 5 levels of progress: Shravana Dacha, Varna Dacha, Smaranavastha, and Sampatti Dacha. So these are the levels of progress, especially in remembering Krishna's pastimes. One gradually grows and goes ahead in his spiritual life. And definitely we should not do on our own. That is one main point we need to understand, that as we grow in spiritual life, if we are really and seriously practicing, and as we grow, we need to take guidance and we need to consult devotees how to make progress and what are the different stages that come, how to go ahead in spiritual life. These are all not not the matter of our own imagination or speculation, but it's a genuine understanding from seniors, and it's ourselves we can understand. As we also quoted the verse Bhakti Parisham Bhakti, we also can understand what is my background thinking or background consciousness when I'm doing activities, either normal activities or daily activities or spiritual activities. What is there in my consciousness? That is a litmus test for our own check barometer where we are. So we genuinely, but definitely we genuinely practice and seriously practice to advance. Thereby we come to higher levels of bhakti. Thereby we understand our own position as well. In as Prabhupada many times mentions, even in introduction to Bhagavad Gita, you might have read, we are all related to Krishna in out of the main five rasas, somewhere in also seven rasas, total 12 rasas. Exclusive five are main. We can develop that kind of relationship with Krishna in these five rasas. And we are given the opportunity also, especially. And this is exclusively for Gaudiya Vaishnava tradition. This developing, understanding the rasas with the Lord is extremely rare and extremely achieved, rarely achieved. So it's a very great opportunity. So it takes a lot of effort and sincerity also to go ahead in spiritual life. Understanding those aspects, understanding to perfect those aspects. So this is the essence of the nectar of instruction, where to remember Krishna, starting with chanting the holy names, and to growing ahead, Nama Rupa Guna Leela. That is the essence. And where it can be done is also spoken, Krishnan Braje. So the glories of Raja is spoken in 9, 10, and 11. So the glories of Raja, what is the highest place, who are the highest people in that place, and what to do in that place is spoken in 9, 10, 11. That ninth verse especially about different places. And we have seen the sequence, gradual sequence, that Radha Kund is the topmost place because very dear to Krishna. And after that, Govardhan Hill because it's touched by the hand of Krishna. Then that is Vrindavan because known as pastimes. Krishna does many pastimes in various ones of Vrindavan. And below that is Madhura, and below that is Vaikuntha. Because Vaikuntha, though it's compared, it's spiritual world, but it is Mathura is compared higher because Krishna's appearance, Krishna's personal appearance. Krishna is the Saman Bonam of all the personalities, supreme personality of Godhead. That's why we always read and Prabhupada explained Ete Cham Sakala Punsa Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. So these aspects Prabhupada explained in not in very detail, but in very little bit short. He just explained the different places, how they are exalted. But we have seen from Prabhupada's conversations and Prabhupada's main letters also to the different personalities, different devotees. Though he's glorifying here to reside in Braja, Radhakund, etc. But we need to be cautious, we need to be careful about approaching and staying there and practicing bhakti. We need to be under guidance always. That's the one main point, which is not directly mentioned by Prabhupada in the purport. Though definitely is glorifying, okay, one should go to stay One can go stand there and practice bhakti, remember Krishna. But we see from other sources where Prabhupada explained about this aspect of staying in both and rather practicing bhakti. Then next verse talks about karmi, the people from a lower standard to the highest standard. Lowest here, of course, as we discussed, the Vikarmis, those who are lowest and those who are not following the dharma itself. It is not mentioned here, but starting with Karmis, those who are sticking to the dharma, the Vedas, the Shastras. From there to the topmost devotees of selfless service, selfless, transcendental, loving service. Those who are rendering, that is topmost activities. They are the topmost activities, and they are the topmost devotees also. So Krishna loves everyone, but those who are at the topmost, those who are sacrificing, those who have selfless, transcendental, loving service attitude. So Krishna loves them more, and of all of them, Srimati Radharani is considered the topmost. In general, we don't compare with them. That is not the process of bhakti. This point we need to understand that we are not. You will also read in these aspects more elaborately in Nectar of Devotion, what we are discussing here. Because this Upadeshamrit is a nectar of instruction. Instruction is generally given in starting devotee. So as these are also these aspects are more elaborately explained in NOD, where we don't try to imitate them, nor we want to be just like them, but we try to follow them. We cannot become them, like all the either Shantarasa, Dasirasa, Sakirasa, Vatsalya, Madhurya. We don't try to become them or like them, but we try to follow them, devotees. So that is the aspect is we need to understand. We will definitely read, you will definitely read in NOD how we are trying to follow in the footsteps of devotees. So, but the theme is that how from the bottommost to topmost levels of people are explained, how the gradations are explained. But the topmost devotees like Radharani are the very dear to Krishna. So we have seen the gradations of people from Chaitanya Charitamrita, different levels, and different Gyanis. Out of thousands karmis, one Gyani is best. Out of all the Gyanis, one who is liberated. Out of all those liberated, thousands of liberated Gyanis, Eka Krishna Bhakta, one Krishna's devotees, Shrestha. So that's the gradations and rarity and greatness. Both we have seen. Understanding the rarity explains their greatness also. Just like a diamond, Kohinoor diamond, it's so rare. Means it's also great. It reflects the greatness also. So how rare the devotees are in the billions and billions of people on this earth. The devotees are so rare. That's why they are so great. So that should reflect in time, trying to give them respect, appreciate, acknowledge. So these things should be practiced and understood and given their proper position. And definitely we need to take consideration of practical things, that how we need to be careful about some devotees who are in the guise of devotees, the dress of the devotees, because it's an institute and we cannot go by the externals. That's where we need to be a little cautious, that just by wearing dress, putting tilak and kantimala, doesn't mean that one becomes a devotee. And we need to be careful about that as well. We need to be cautious. But definitely we need to understand the rarity and the greatness of the devotees who are sincerely and seriously practicing the process of bhakti. But Prabhupada mainly focused on the aspect of the karma, and the karma is how they are just after the material enjoyment. They are after in this life and beyond this life, They are trying to work hard, even to the extent that they may try to do or committing to do so many sinful activities just for the sake of some flickering temporary enjoyment, happiness. But how one should actually try to understand the futility of this happiness, and one should not become mad after this happiness. One should actually try to cultivate spiritual life. That is a major part of the purport, quoting from fifth canto especially. Nonam pramatta kurute vikarma. People are mad after this indriya preeti. So we try to save ourselves and try to not be mad after this flickering, temporary, not only flickering and temporary, but it's only source of misery. Adyantavantah kaunteya nateshu ramate buddha. Krishna speaks in Gita 5th chapter. So yeah, by trying to understand the Adi Anta, any pleasure that has the starting and ending, it only gives us misery. Definitely we understand intellectually, but the more we practice, the more we try to understand spiritual aspects, the more we realize and more we become uh, keep away the distance. We keep ourselves distant from that aspects and try to go near towards spiritual happiness, spiritual practices. So that's what Prabhupada's main point. That don't let us not waste our time and life in trying to pandering to the senses, but give up this mentality and try to elevate ourselves more and more. And he gave the different levels as the words also speaking. Try to elevate ourselves to the jnani level, detached from the matter. And after that also not just trying to give it the matter, but actually coming to the practice of devotional service. Because many will come to the topmost level because that is the highest level where one can be completely happy. Ayatma, enatma suprasidati. That stage will come only after bahunam janmanamante jnanavan mam prapadyate. So, but definitely we are given this opportunity, whether we practiced or not, bahunam janmanam, but we are given this opportunity in this life. We make it a point that we endeavor to advance in bhakti by trying to follow in the footsteps of exalted devotees. Of course, we may not be following exact exalted devotees like all this Narada, Sanaka, Sanatan, and Gopis, etc. But we definitely try to follow Srila Prabhupada, who is following in their footsteps. And what is the test or what is the way to understand that we are following and practicing bhakti and realizing bhakti? That is spoken in the here that we discussed that. Yeah, the more we advance, that more we are determined to practice bhakti. We have seen many verses, and we have seen that 6 has become 8th verse. Asrishava Padarata. Whatever may happen to my life, I am determined to go ahead in my practicing principles of bhakti and the 9 process of devotional service. So that is the nature of even starting bhakta. That's what we have read from Srimad Bhagavatam also. And even those who are exalted, like Radharani, though they are exalted, the nature of their exalted nature is seen when they are approached by small devotees. She is saying that, oh, these devotees are greater than me. They are rendering valuable service. They are rendering very wonderful service to you. Please take them to your loving embrace. That's what she recommends to Krishna. So in this way, Prabhupada is establishing that Radha Kund is the topmost place and Radharani is the topmost devotee. Therefore, those who have opportunity and those who are really interested in advanced in spiritual life, they can stay in Radhakund and practice bhakti. So was the conclusion of Prabhupada Swami in 10th verse of Srimad. And we have seen that what Prabhupada is mentioning in essence also. We will not stay physically there, but We try to follow principles of Prabhupada, what is mentioned. Thereby, we effectively are staying there by following him. And we have seen many questions that if he is recommending, if he is emphasizing him, why he didn't stay himself there. Rather, he left Vrindavan and really taken risks of his life to give us all Vrindavan, give us all the wonderful process of Bhakti Yoga. So by his example, by his instructions, he's giving us what is practically need to be done in our life. And to glorify the text, he definitely mentioned many points here in this text. The glory of Rakon, glory of Radharani, glory of Vrindavan, these things we have seen. And in the last verse, both are combined, the places and the people. And just by taking one's bath in the Radhakund, we can develop the pure love for Krishna. And as also we mentioned that it's not just carrying a kind of instructions to not take bath, but one is definitely when there is opportunity, when there is a guidance, after hearing from the spiritual master, after proper following the rules and regulations with the proper consciousness, definitely one can take bath when we have that opportunity and blessings, thereby gain the faith. But the actual result of taking bath in a particular kund or particular dham, going to dham, the result has to be seen that we increase our determination, increasing in our following the principles of bhakti. That should be seen in, that should reflect in our process, in our convictions, in our commitments.
Voice is breaking, Prabhuji.
Okay. Okay, we will wait. Few seconds, maybe it may take time. But I was mentioning that we need to see the results of this taking baths or going to dhams in terms of uh, increasing our conviction, increasing in our commitments, or solidifying in our convictions internally, and taking up more and more commitments to the process of bhakti. So in that way, we need to see the results of taking baths or staying in a dham for some time. So yeah, that should be reflected in our practice. That we are more and more inspired, more and more determined, more and more helping others. So in that way, it should be seen. That should be the result of actually taking baths and going to dhams and associating with the devotees. So this should be the result of this should be the actual result. So this we have seen in glory of taking bath. Of course, one point also we have seen that how this process is emphasized only once taking the holy name, only once taking bath, or only a few seconds of association. That's what also mentioned about association also. Right, we have read the very famous verse. Says that Lavamatra sadhu sangha sarva siddhi hoy. Sadhu sangha sarva siddhi hoy. Lavamatra sadhu sangha sarva siddhi hoy. Sadhu sangha sarva shastra hoy. Sarva shastra, all the shastra are saying that we need to associate with the devotees. Lavamatra sadhu sangha sarva siddhi hoy. All the siddhis happens by Lavamatra. So we actually read the one of the famous purport on the 13th verse, 13th chapter of Nectar of Devotion. What it actually mean by that Lavamatra or Eka Krishna Nam or once taking bath. What does it actually mean? It means to divert our attention to the reality, the beauty of the reality from this material reality. So that is to divert our attention from this temporary reality, temporary beauty to transcendental reality. So that is the main point Prabhupada brought out. Very beautiful that purport was. Prabhupada is, these are not just stories, are made out, made. They are facts, but they may not be applied to all. Just like Adam chanted once, and he became a perfected man. That's what the Srimad Bhagavatam is explaining. Of course, he was given a second chance, and we need to understand that also. It's not that just chanted once Narayana and he was taken to Golok. He was given a chance. He practiced 12 years. After that, also, he went to Haridwar, left everything. So, these are all need to be understood in a practical manner that they are giving a direction to turn our attention to these aspects of spiritual life. But they are facts also, they are also facts. They are not made stories. They have potencies. They have holy name, the holy dham, the holy people, holy name. All these have a potency. Holy prasad. They have tremendous potency, and there are wonderful examples also. And it may not happen to us in particular, but we need to. These are all just to inspire us more and more to take up to the standards of the path of bhakti. So these points are we have seen in this last verse that yeah, we need to bathe by invoking. That also we have seen that by invoking the different sacred rivers and even the Radha Kund, Shyama Kund, Kusum Sarovar, Manasi Ganga, whatever kunds that we want to we invoke, we beg them. Every day we take bath. So we practice this principle also to invoking the waters, holy waters. So thereby we bathe in them every day. And especially we have seen that Sarvatma Snapanam Param Vijayate Sri Krishna Sankirtanam. We bathe our consciousness with the holy names. And also just like today we, fortunately, I don't know, all of you, or maybe some of you might have had the opportunity and the fortune to bathe the Lord Jagannath, Baldev, Subramanian, and Sudarshan with milk. So we bathe the deities, Abhishek. So similarly, we bathe the holy name with our attention and consciousness in both ways. Our consciousness is bathed by the pure holy names, transcendental holy names, and also we bathe the holy name in the sense that we do Abhishek of the holy names by our attention and by our devotion. So by that, in the both ways, we are purified internally. So that is our main process of taking bath, essence, actually taking bath. So that our consciousness is perfectly purified from all these material entanglements and upadhis and all the designations, and we come to the highest perfection of Upir Bhartur Padakamalayo Das Das and Das. We understand and we remain. We remember and we remain on that platform and perfect our life. So this is the very, very condensed essence that Srila Rupa Goswami gave to all of us. Perfect our lives. Such a beautiful book, such a beautiful condensed knowledge. But we can digest it to the degree we are trying to practice these principles in our life. So I'm extremely grateful to all of you for giving me an opportunity to understand and try to. Speaking is easy, it is easier said than done. So I beg from all the Vaishnavas to pray for me and bless me so that I can also try to follow my life and perfect to go closer to perfection in some degree. Thank you, Hare Krishna. So we pause here. So this is the nectar of instruction by Srila Goswami. So now, shall we discuss? If any have any question or on the OBA questions? OBA questions are quite straightforward. They are practical applications. we need to. Yes, Prabhu, Sagar, Prabhu.
Yeah, any devotees have any questions or want to ask about the OBA? If you need any tips, please feel free to ask. We can even extend the time for discussion. Prabhuji is available. Has anyone gone through the questions?
A good question. Yeah, good question to answer. It's academically it's quite challenging also sometimes, but it's very good. It's a good practice to go through the questions, try to put some intelligence and trying to understand, go through books. Makes us more and more assimilate the subject. Yeah, they are very simple and straightforward applications, practical applications. What do you want to take up? So the main principle is when you ask personal question, you need to understand where we are and what is the goal and what steps I take to reach the goal. So that is the main aspect of presentation of any personal application. So in that way, you can try to see the practical application questions, whatever you have. You will easily understand where we are, what is the goal, and what are the steps I'm going to apply, take, or trying to consider to take in my life to come to the goal. So that's the principle. Okay. Yes,
Okay.
Sagar.
Prabhuji, any other? I think you have sent all the verses notes,
Yeah, I
right?
think I will make this document as a PDF and I will share everything at a time.
Yeah,
That
because
is,
last you had sent, I
yeah, I
think
think
from 9
last three
9 to 8.
verses. I think three verses. I think I didn't send last three verses. I think
Yes,
better I make a PDF. It's a PDF also very good accessibility and also it maintains the
sure.
font and I will send to you. Sure.
Okay, fine.
Okay, thank you so much.
Um, Thank you. So I will, based on Arvind Prabhu's message, that I think Rath Yatra is there on 7th of July. So we can move the date to 13th and 14th. I'll run a poll, but I think 13th and 14th, we should not extend beyond it because that is fair enough. We'll have 3 weeks from now to close on our OBA and CBA. So maybe we can have Saturday as the time for CBA and Sunday as the time for OBA. Let's not extend it. I request everybody to maybe start collating information and start putting the pieces together so that we don't delay it further beyond 13th. And I'll get in touch with the devotees for our next teacher for the NOD. Let's see if we can start somewhere in the last week or maybe before that, but definitely not before 20th. After we finish off with our CBA OBA, then we can start with NOD. Let's see if we can start it. Then I think it will take another 2 months to complete our Bhakti Shastri. So I'll keep you posted. So please do focus on your OBAs and CBAs for now, and I'll send you the CBA questions today itself from the student manual. Thank you, Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you
Please share
for
the
giving us
OBA
time.
template. Sorry, Prabhu. Please share the OBA template for.
Yeah, I'll ask it from the BVRV. I don't have it. So once I receive, I can send you. Meanwhile, if you are working on, you can just use a Word file to put the patches together, text patches from Vedabase, and then you can simply paste it later when you get that. But definitely you'll get it. Prabhuji, thank you for spending time with us very exhaustively. You took out time for us from your busy schedule. We are grateful to you. Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna.
And I'll inform the BVRV for the Shloka test and other two assessments. So generally in the past books, the teacher who taught us only had taken the Shloka test. So
Okay. Yeah, if it is the no, I can definitely let me know.
Yeah. So
I'll
shloka
also
and the
drop
translations of that.
Okay, sure.
So
We
we
will
have four
be
first
managing.
shlokas, just for the information of all devotees. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. The first 4 shlokas are the shlokas in course, and they are translations as is from Prabhupada's books. All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Yes.
Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Great.
Thank you so
Thank you,
much,
thank
Prabhuji.
you.
Hare Krishna. Dandat Pranam.
Great. Jai Prabhupada ki jai. Gaur Bhakti.
Hare Krishna, Danda Pranam.
Hare Krishna.